welcome back here to Busy Bee Budgets. And in this video, what I'm going to do is clear out my cash envelopes from May and put those to one side, and then I'm going to do my first cash stuff of June. My month starts on the 8th, which is when I get paid, so this, like the 10th, is my first cash stuff of June. So I've kind of got a slightly reworked budget for June, which I've kind of popped a video up about. It looks a little bit different this month because we've kind of got some big one-off expenses, which we'll kind of go into. So if that looks like something you'd want to sit around and watch, then please pull up a pew and a cup of tea and make yourself comfy, and we'll kind of get into it. So I've not got too much left over, but what I'm going to do is empty my what's left in my envelopes. So I've got £10 left in food, and what I'm going to do with all this money is pop it to one side and then put it in my treats sinking fund, which is what I've decided that I'm going to do. Instead of savings challenges, I'm going to pop it towards treats, and then it's not like I have to save it till the end of the year or kind of a big envelope enveloping or whatever. I can't even say that. Envelope opening, that would be better, but that I can just kind of dip into it as and when I want treats, and it's kind of a good motivation for me to perhaps try and scale back some of that. So £10 going there. That was from food. I've got nothing left in fuel, nothing left in self-care, nothing in social, nothing in miss, nothing in spends, sensing a pattern, and then in giving I've got £20 left. So what I'm going to do at the end of each month is, if I have money left over in giving, I'm going to give that to my local food bank and start again. So that £20 is, I'm going to pop to a different side, and that will go, I will make an online donation today to the food bank. So I'll pop that to one side, and I'll pop that, I'll do that now. So this is my sinking funds binder, and I just did a separate video on that. And what I am using is the snowball method. So the ones at the back are the ones that are fully stuffed, and then these are the new ones I'm going to stuff next month. But my treats, like envelope, is that what you call it? Is it an envelope? Binder, whatever. My treats envelope anyway is in there, so I'm going to pop that £10 in there. And what this is for is kind of, I guess, anything extra that I want. I'm currently on a clothing diet, and I think also this, from this month on, so from June onwards, I'm going to put myself on a 6-month ban not to buy anything for the house. So I'm a bit of a sucker, I'm sure you are, for a B&M or a range visit. And, you know, it's like the throws, the cushions, the candles. It's kind of those things. None of them are big expenses, but they kind of add up, I guess. And I think I've probably got enough of that stuff already, and I'm much better to kind of rotate it and kind of do that than I am to buy more stuff. So, and I think that's it. Part of this thing about budgeting for me was about being intentional with my money and maybe moving towards a bit more of a minimalist lifestyle. And I don't know if any of you watch Yasmin Camilla's videos, but she's kind of, I think her mindset and mine are quite similar in terms of that. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I look around at stuff I have and just think, oh, that used to be money. And now when you're doing the budgeting, you're being quite careful about things. It just seems like some of that was a bit of a waste. So I think I'm definitely going to move towards a bit more minimalist attitude. And doing my clothing diet's really helped, I think. Just to stop getting in that habit of just going to Primark or buying stuff because it was new or because I saw it online. I'm a sucker for those Instagram, you know, like the algorithms know you, don't they? They know what you like to buy. So I think that's been really good for me to just like break that cycle a little bit. So at the moment, probably what I think mainly treats is going to be useful is my Botox, which I have a couple times a year, and I really appreciate it. I've been having it for a few years now, but it is quite expensive. It's about £300 each time I go, and I go 2 or 3 times a year. So I think what I'm going to do is, with that treats money, is start saving that for my Botox. So anything I have left over from my normal spending will go into treats, and we'll kind of see how that is. So anyway, that was my sinking funds, which was kind of a bit of a long story, sorry. So this is my cash stuff for first week in June. I've got my budget folder here. I'm just going to pop it off screen so you don't see it probably. But this is week 1. It's a full week month for me. Which always makes things a little bit more generous and a bit more comfortable. And then this month I want to try and fully fund 2 sinking funds, which I have done. So I can tick that already as a goal. And then I want to have 10 no spend days. So I need to keep track of those. So I will do that from now on. And also sell some stuff. Those are my kind of goals. So this week 1, I'm actually stuffing £760, which is high for me. But I've got this one-off events cost, which I'm going to talk to you about. And I'm going to stuff that in a different way. I have already stuffed my sinking funds. I did that in a separate video. So they're all stuffed. And then I'll go through next week and kind of, I've done the bills payment, subs has come out, and car tax. So the other payments that come out this month are my loan, the £750, which comes out mid-month, and then on the 1st of July, my gym will come out, which is later. So we are stuffing 100 in food, 30 in fuel, 30 in self-care, 40 in social, 10 in miscellaneous, 40 in spends, 10 in giving, and 500 in events. And I'll come on to that in a bit. So first things first. So that should be 760. So I should have 260 in cash and then one of these placeholders. So let's count that first. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 82, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260. So at least that is right. And then what I've got here is one of my placeholders. I think they're from What If I Fly 17, but I'll leave it in the description below. Because the experiences or events I'm going to stuff with this. Because, in fact, I might as well talk to you about that now. So I have got a couple of trips coming up this month. A weekend away with my girlfriends, which I've paid for. So the Airbnb and the train, so that comes to about £300. And then we're also going to go and see Elton John later in the month. The tickets of which were about £200. So I've already paid for those on my card. So I am going to, essentially I'm stuffing it. It's kind of almost like a fake stuff, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to stuff that today, but then next week that will come out and basically it comes off. But what I wasn't going to do is take £500 worth of cash out of the bank to pay back straight. It didn't seem to make any sense. But just so that I visually kind of stuff it for myself. £500 is going into events, but that's kind of already been pre-spent. And then the money actually at those events will kind of be taken out of my social, my spending allowances, so drinks and food and those types of things are factored into what is quite generous social and spends allocations this month. So I've got 150 for each of those on top of my food budget and other things, so that should be more than plenty. So hope that makes sense. So we've got 260 then left to stuff back into our normal envelopes. So what I tend to do is stuff them into my binder, and then I have these small envelopes and essentially budgets, and then during the week what I do is, if I know I'm going out, most of my stuff is intentional, I know I'm going out somewhere, so I will take some money out of the main binder and then pop them in here, just so that I don't have to carry so much cash around all the time. And although I stuff with cash, I more than often spend on my card. So what I will do is pop the money in here, and then as and when I spend on my card, I will take the cash out and put it in my back to bank folder, which is in this bigger binder, which has all my cash in it, just so that it kind of, I keep a record of it. And then what I tend to do is round up the transactions. So what you won't see with me is lots of coins. I don't do the saving challenges and stuff, because what I tend to do is round it up and then create a buffer in my bank and do it that way, rather than having some of the savings challenges. It just kind of works better for me and my lifestyle. But everyone's different, which is what's lovely about this community. We all do things in a slightly different way, but kind of, as long as it works for you, it kind of is good. So first off, food is getting 100. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 1. And my food budget covers everything I buy at the supermarket. So my food, my husband's food, the dog's food, our cleaning products, toiletries, all comes from the supermarket. So although it's high, I appreciate, A, food costs are just going up and up, aren't they? And B, that covers not just food. It really should say supermarket, but it says food. Fuel is getting 30 this week. And actually what I did at the end of last month was put a full tank in, and I kind of need to pay myself back some money. So I'll take this out straight away and pop that back to go back to the bank, because I had 40 from last month. Tank of fuel cost me about 90. So this week and next week's cash stuff will actually kind of go back to paying that back, and then weeks 3 and 4 will start me sort of saving for the next tank of fuel, if that makes sense. I'm not actually using my car a huge amount at the moment, so I'm kind of hoping that might last me quite a long time, but we'll see. So that's fuel. Self-care is getting 30. And I haven't got a massage booked this week, but I have next week, but that'll be fine. We'll catch stuff before that happens. Social is getting 40. So as I said, I'm going away with my girlfriends, and then so dinners out and coffees and that type of stuff. So I'll be going to social. Miscellaneous is going to get 10. And my miscellaneous is just kind of anything else that I haven't thought of. So maybe, I don't know, a mop, or actually I need a new charging cable for my phone. So that might be what comes out miscellaneous. It's just those kind of random, slightly boring things that you kind of have to buy every so often. Spends is getting 40, and that is for, it's a bit generous this month, but I think because I've got a heavy month with the social, I think it's justified, but is one that I can cut down. But that is for things like a coffee if I'm out, or I want to buy a bit of cake, or a book or a journal, or anything that's just kind of slightly frivolous. This is a kind of, I guess, my favourite category. This is like stuff that's purely for me, as opposed to everything else which is either quite utilitarian or kind of has another purpose. So that's kind of my spends, and then giving is getting the final 10. So that's that. So that is £760. Goes quite quickly, doesn't it? What I'm going to do is pop my experiences binder in here for now, but as I say, probably by next week that will come out as I repay everything else, and that's that really. So I know it's generous, particularly some of those social spend categories, but in the context of kind of, I am fortunate enough to be like a high income earner, and I'm, you know, comfortable that I'm putting a good amount towards my financial goals, so I'm kind of comfortable with that level of spending. And then this events one isn't going to happen. You know, this is a one-off this month. It's just that everything's come together, as it always seems to, doesn't it? So you know, that will be gone next month, and I've already started to think about what July budget looks like, and it's more generous, or I have more leftover cash that I can put towards my goals. So next month I'm aiming to put 2,000 towards my sinking funds. I'd really like to get to a position where I'm putting half my income into sinking funds or financial goals. So that's something that I'm working towards. I'm hoping for the beginning of 2023 that I'll be able to get that with a couple of changes to my budget, and those types of things. So that's my aim, is that basically I get to a position where 50% of my income is being saved or invested, with a move to like focusing on our financial freedom. So very much for me, 2022 is a bit of a foundation year, just getting the basics right, which I feel this process has helped with massively. It's given me a really good understanding of where I'm spending money, how I'm spending money, making me a lot more intentional with it, making me a lot more conscious about spending on my card. It's really helpful for me to have to come back and get physical cash out of here and pay it back. It makes a real difference, which seems really silly, doesn't it? But I think there is something about that whole visual and tacit, kind of actually tactile holding the cash that makes it all a bit real. And then setting myself some of these challenges like the no spend day and kind of raising some other incomes is great. So that is my week 1 budget for June. On track, but we've still got a lot of months to go, but I feel kind of comfortable with where we are. So I'm just going to tick off these that we've paid these, and then I will let you know how we get on. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for coming back if you're a returning viewer or a subscriber. It's great to have you here. And if you're new, please put a comment or a like below. If you've got any questions, because I appreciate we all do stuff slightly different in this budgeting community. I think it's all about finding a way that works for you. So maybe there's something here that you either liked or didn't like, and wanted to do differently, or anything you want to ask, then please feel free. And if not, I will see you in the next video. So take care, and I'll see you soon.